everybody, I hope you're having a lovely week. Today I am going to talk to you about things that people don't always notice about books, because I feel like we enjoy books so much and we appreciate them and we love the characters and we love the authors for making the characters, but some things that we don't really tend to notice about books, things that I just realised recently that I don't really notice these things about books a lot, and I should. And I think we should pay respect to all of the people that make a book and that allow it to be published and that allow us to enjoy them. So this is kind of like an open letter to everyone involved in creating a book. First thing I want to talk about is publishers. The big head honchos at the top of publishing these books. If it weren't for the publishers, these books probably wouldn't even be out in the world. I mean, they might be, but they wouldn't be in nice, lovely physical copies that had beautiful covers and looked incredible. Penguin is probably one of the biggest publishers there is, and I think it's very easy to know when a book is Penguin. So maybe sometimes, like in this case, you will recognise the publisher and you will know who it's by. But I noticed the other day when I was looking through my books and on my bookshelves that a lot of my books are actually published by Simon & Schuster, like this one, for example, by C.J. Flood. It's called Infinite Sky. Very good book. If you haven't read it, you should. It's very good. It's a nice summer read. But anyway, I realised that this book and Mara Dyer and Severed Heads and Broken Hearts, they're all published by Simon & Schuster, and I never noticed before I properly looked that I had so many books by the same publisher, and I just didn't really realise. The next thing I want to talk about is dedications. Dedications are probably relatively noticed because you sort of skim past them, but most of the time I find that I'm too excited to read the actual book to actually look at the pages before the first chapter starts. And I feel like that's something that I really want to start doing more, because there's some beautiful dedications and epigraphs, which is another thing I'm going to talk about in this video, and they just sort of go unnoticed sometimes. One of my favourite dedications is from Everybody Sees the Ants by A.S. King, and she just dedicates it to everybody who sees the ants. It's as if she's saying, for anybody who has been through what this character has been through, this book is for you, and to tell you that you are not alone. And I thought that was one of the most beautiful dedications that there was, that I've come across. Also, I really like that F. Scott Fitzgerald dedicates all of his books to his wife Zelda, and I do actually have a book on her that I am really excited to read and find out more about her, because she must have been extraordinary for F. Scott Fitzgerald to dedicate every book to her, and I really love that books are dedicated and people recognise and, I don't know, praise other people in their dedications. They lift somebody else up even though it's their work that they are putting out into the world. They still want to share it, and I feel like dedications are a really nice way of showing that a book is a gift to everyone and to specific people. So it can be a gift to the person who it's dedicated to, or it can be a gift more open and dedicated to everyone who's been through the same thing. As I said previously, epigraphs are also a great part of a book. If you don't know what epigraphs are, they're like little quotes that are in the front of books that have maybe inspired the book, or maybe just sort of connect with the book or the author in a certain way. And I feel like it's a really, really nice way to commend other authors and to show a little bit of the thought process behind these books. Claire from Reading Bukowski and several other people, I think Sonna from Books and Quills did one as well, have done videos about epigraphs, so I'm going to link them below because they're really great, and they just read out a few of their favourite epigraphs, because I didn't have time to pick favourite epigraphs, so I'm going to link you to their wonderful videos down below. So if you want to have a look and see what kind of things are in epigraphs, then just go and check out the videos, they're both amazing. Another thing that I have recently realised a lot more is the translators, because I've been reading more and more translations of books from different languages, and often the translators go unnoticed. Like, I read The Library of Unrequited Love by Sophie Divry, and First Love by Ivan Turgenev. And the first time I read them, I didn't really think about the fact that they were translated from a different language, because it was in English and I was reading it. But now I feel like I need to appreciate the time and effort that goes into translating a book, because somebody has to sit there and find the right word in English or a different language, the right way to explain something, because there are so many different interpretations of languages, and language is such a difficult thing to mould and shape to sort of suit exactly what the author is trying to say, that a translator is like the mouthpiece between the author and somebody who might not be able to enjoy that book otherwise. The Library of Unrequited Love was translated by Sean Reynolds, so thank you to Sean Reynolds for translating this lovely book, because it was a great read, and as you can see I've marked loads and loads of passages in here, so thank you. And First Love by Ivan Turgenev was translated by Constance Garnett, so thank you for translating this beautiful book that I've also marked lots of passages in. And thank you to translators all over the world for translating books and making them available to people who might not be able to enjoy them otherwise. Last but not least, the cover designers and the illustrators. Obviously with graphic novels, this isn't as much of a issue, or I don't want to say issue. They're noticed more with graphic novels because obviously they've drawn the entire novel. However, with actual, like, written prose novels, sometimes you just don't, you appreciate the cover, but you never really look to see who designed that cover. So I'm gonna get a few of my favourite covers and say a big thank you to the designers. Like Nick Stern, he designed the cover for Severed Heads, Broken Hearts by Robin Schneider. It is a beautiful, beautiful cover, and it was pretty much the reason that I picked it up, aside from the fact that the blurb and the title are very intriguing. But that, look at this, look at these graphics! It's incredible, and the way that he's used 3 colours to just jump out at you, and I love it. Nick Stern again actually designed the cover for CJ Flood's Infinite Sky, and the illustrations in this book were done by Francis Castle, so thank you again. And it they're incredible. They're incredible. And then the Book Thief was, the cover was designed by Claire Ward and the illustrations were by Finn Campbell, so thank you for that. This book is incredible. And the illustrations inside this book, in fact, are even more hard-hitting and incredible. But yes, this video was basically to just say thank you to people that maybe sometimes don't necessarily get all of the credit that they deserve. And although the authors are a massive, massive chunk of the production of a book and they make the book exist, you can't forget about all the little people along the way that really, really make these books and, like, stories come alive. So thank you to you if you're a publisher, an illustrator, a designer, a writer, a person who a book has been dedicated to, somebody who reads. Just thank you. Just, yes. I think that's all I can say. Thanks.